What's up, everybody? My name is Timmy D from the Railroads Rock Show, showcast, podcast, whatever you want to call it. We're going to try something different today, and what I've been getting requests to do is a little bit of something called Magzine Monday. Now, Magzine Monday is predicated on a little something I've been doing on Instagram, where I just pull out a couple of magazines from the old collection. I have a very large collection of magazines from the 60s all the way up until the 2000s. A lot of it comes from these cases. I've got 4 of them, and it's from my brother's father-in-law. So my older brother's wife's dad, who passed away, and my brother ended up getting the collection, and he was like, yo, Timmy, I don't know what I'm going to do with all this stuff. I was like, bring it on over to my house. Let's take a look at it. And ever since then, I've just been doing Magazine Mondays. So every Monday on Instagram, I throw up a little something, and those disappear, obviously, to the ether. Like, here's a quick story, and then tomorrow they're all gone. And a lot of folks that watch Magazine Mondays go, Timmy, post them. You know, put them up on YouTube so we can actually kind of watch what you're doing. So let's watch what I'm doing. I'm going to turn the camera around, and we're going to get into it. So thank you for tuning in. Timmy D from the Railroads Rock Show. Tune in. I mean, obviously on this channel, this is just a separate little thing for it. And then also just, you know, go over to TikTok, Instagram, and all that other fun stuff. You know where to find me. If you don't, it's all good. If you know, you know. And if you don't, you'll figure it out eventually. Let's rock. So let's get started on October 96. How to lay flex track, build a brick freight house, the basics of plastic kits, digital command control compatibility report. Oh my God, the beginning of DCC as we know it. The realism on the Reading. Look at some of this stuff. How many new products introduced at the National Train Show? Back in the day, we used to have so many different mediums to discover pre-internet / internet's here. The internet was here, but didn't exist the same way. Look at that. Really cool. A little bit of club news. Eureka Model Railroad Clubs Division. Really cool stuff. A lot of advertisements. A lot of let's sell via selling of the magazine. Love the Athearn. This was the beginning of them taking their models, i.e. an SD40-2, adding a little bit of photo editing. Look at that. Boom. And they would make it look like it was on the real railroad, you know, a part of the consist. Obviously looked terrible to the naked eye of now, but back then it was pretty cool. I love this. The zebra stripes, Santa Fe. What are we looking at? What is this on? Let's go back one. So obviously there's a layout. Let's get to it. The Raton Division. Yes. Oh my gosh. I have driven this route many a times on my, when I'm on tour, going over Raton. It is something else. Heading north or south when you're on the freeway. I can't remember what the name of the freeway is. I think it's the 25 or something. Heading north or south, going over that pass is something else. And so this is obviously Raton. If we're giving it the layout at a glance, Raton Division, the Santa Fe in HO scale, 24 by 27. And it is Raton Pass to Trinidad, Colorado. Beautiful, in the summer of 1953. Meaning steam is still alive and well on this layout. But it looks like he's using a lot of diesels here. You got your RS, what is this? Your RSDs here. So you got your 6-axle. Love them. Mining camp, loading in the coal. And then this one says a pair of new Alca RSD5s. So RSD5s, wow. American Locomotive Company, still alive and well. But yeah, you could see you have a lot of steam active on the layout with a couple of F units. You got the S2 or Alco S4. Let's see what that is. It doesn't even say, but that's either an Alco S2 or an S4. For those of you that know, you know, and if you don't, you don't. I love the billboard box cars from back in the day, Santa Fe all the way. They would have the system map on the side of the box car. Bob Foltz, you're a man. You're the man. Man. Nice shirt, bro. Oh, man, where are we at? And that's that. Ooh, digital darkroom. Computer to expand your model railroad photography bag of tricks. Yeah, I mean, old school. You could see the layering that goes on here. And then putting it all together. I mean, eventually. Anyways, look at this. We have September 96, but over here we are on October 96. So this is part 2 of what we're about to see in September. Track and power for the South Plains District, which is awesome. Gotta love Cat Mountain. Look at that. That is a Kato Jeep 35. Easily. Guaranteed. Kato Jeep 35. Look at that. A little bit of something, putting it all together. God, if there is one thing that I will say about the Cat Mountain series of model railroading, it is just how incredibly simple and beautiful it is. West Texas railroading. There's something about all the railroading that goes on west of Dallas. Look at this, and now we go to NMRA Parade. All this fun stuff. We're just going to finish up this mag with Along the Line. Let's go to it. There we go. Along the Line. I always love this set in the series. And here it says front row center. Beautiful picture. And pretty much it's September 1950. And northern New England is enjoying one of those glorious Indian summers. An empty flat car coupled to the rear of New England, Berkshire, and Western's RS1 number 408 in Chester, Vermont provides a perfect spot to watch trains. The star of the show, RS3 number 473, is holding up traffic on Main Street as it makes its way from Chattagouay to Troy, New York. This show can't last forever since the local has to continue its work, and supper time is fast approaching for our rail fan. But for now, you can enjoy the sun and cool mountain air from the best seat in the house. What a beautiful picture. All right, that's that. Moving on. Along the Line. Always love those. Horsepower Wars. We're going to end this one pretty darn quickly. Trains Magazine, September 96. That is a Conrail Cadillac SD80 Mac. Look at this. You can run through this. We're going to have to get back to this. How the high horsepower. I don't know. How high the horsepower? How high the horsepower? How high the horsepower? Number 222. This is an SD75M. Really cool EMD unit. Santa Fe. All the way. Never mistake that. That nice little, war bonnet. Look at that. You got the SD70 Max along the line. Boom. You got an SD80 Mac. Boom. SD90 Mac. Really cool. I remember when these units, when they came out with Kato, however you want to say it, was something else to have one of those. A Kato SD90 Mac or an SD80 Mac. You got your AC 4400s here. You could tell because they're the lower numbers. 317. Look at that. Number 44 on the CSX. That's a nice Ace 4400. Look at that. You see the 3 intake valves off the GA Demonstrator. Doing all that fun stuff. You got all the Chicago Northwesterns going down the line. Look at that. 3 intake valves. 3 intake. Really cool. Chicago Northwestern had -9s. This is really cool. Morrison Knudsen had their little hand in the pot. 5,000 horsepower. Really cool unit. Really cool unit. Never really got its due. You could still see those out on somewhere in Utah on the Salt Lake Railway, Treasures of St. Louis. So cool. When I was out in St. Louis on tour, many a times I've been out there on tour, and still the downtown Union Station exists. I hope they continue keeping it amazing. Look at that. Let's go to September 96. And we'll go straight to the Cat Mountain article if I could find it on the blast. Something about that the Cat Mountain. Let me see if I can find it. There's just so many stinking ads here. Buy this, do that. Buy this, do that. I love these. I actually like these. Don't blame me. I told you to include some access hatches. The wife. He's on stilts walking over the railroad. That's great. I miss those cartoons. They're great. So genius. Trackside photos. Look at that. SF-30C Overland unit. God, so beautiful. On a beautiful diorama, too. I love how all the track is painted. Looks so natural. Very well done. A nice, soft glazing of dull coat to give it that weather-worn look, but still brand new. I love that. Look at this frickin'. Who does trestles like this? Somebody has to be doing that. General Electric's AC 6000 CW. Love these designs. They have the ginormous grills. This is far long before the ET44 CWs or any of the Tier 4 units. They just had that ginormous radiator fan in the back intake area. Really cool. Look at that. CSX had a really cool version of it. UP had it. Just really something else. I cannot find the Cat Mountain, and we're not going to need to because that's going to end us up. Let's go to Along the Line and finish out this episode of Magazine Monday, which is a very simple, Along the Line. Oh my gosh! And this is somebody after my own heart. I actually remember this Along the Line because 70 tonners. These are old 70 tonners. So somebody, look at that, it still has the open hatch. You won't see that, but maybe he modeled them off of a Bachmann Spectrum. I have a GE 70 tonner from Bachmann. I know they're modeled by, is it Pico? Who does them now? It doesn't matter. So cool. And I love this article. I remember reading it a couple times because I love the way that if you just look at the diorama or the way this layout is built, you have these 70 tonners in the way of these two Shalom Valley 70-ton General Electric locomotives hardly rate at a glance from a cow as they trundle by with the daily mixed freight. Although not terribly powerful, these engines and their cousins that make up the balance of the SV roster are perfectly suited for the short lines, light rail, and sharp curves. Modern era modelers may chuckle at these small locomotives, but don't forget, today's huge AC 6000s can trace their lineage back to 44 and 70 tonners. Ain't that the truth? And that's how we end, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Happy Magazine Monday, and stay motivated. Get your projects done. If you start a project, finish the project. And that's all I have to say about that. Really cool. So beautiful. All right, until the next time, just remember the most important signal you get is going to be your next one. Rock and roll.